Hi Jamie, nice to meet you.
No.
How can I help you?
Well, I had a few bruises on my arm, and my boss sent me in here to talk to you about what might be going on at home, but he doesn't know. Just so I could keep my job, I came in to, I told him I'd agree to come talk to someone about these bruises and stuff, so that's what I'm here for, because I want to be able to go back to work, and he thought I was getting hurt at work, and he wanted to make sure that I was okay and what was going on, so to keep my job, I came in here to talk to someone.
Okay, so I hear you want to, the only reason you're here is because you want to keep your job, but do you think that may be coming, there's something I can help you with while you're here?
Well, you know, the bruises and stuff, and he wanted, could tell you, I guess, a little bit about what's going on at home. I guess that would help. You know, I work a couple jobs, and I'm tired, and my husband, he gets so angry at me because I'm just not a very good wife. I don't do things like the wife's supposed to do. I don't keep the house clean because I'm tired sometimes, and if he finds a little bit of something wrong, he gets mad. But it's not his fault, it's my fault. I don't do things right, so I don't blame him, but sometimes he loses his temper, but you know, he shouldn't get in trouble. Oops. We're gonna start over.
No, that's okay, I can delete that part.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, I'm here because he sometimes hits me, and sometimes, you know, I'm sometimes scared.
Okay, so I hear you saying that the reason he does it, or the reason you feel he does it, is because you don't do your wife duties. Can you talk to me a little bit of your understanding of wife duties?
You know, when I was raised and grew up, a wife's supposed to take care of the kids, keep the food on the table, keep the house clean, have sex all the time like you're supposed to do, and keep up your wife duties. And I get tired because also he hurt his back and doesn't work, and so I have to make all the money, and so it's, you know, I have to do so much. I get tired, and he gets angry, and I sometimes just want to scream because I can't do it all. I just feel like I have to be 3 people at once, and so if I get sometimes a little tired, I'll snap at him a little bit, and he'll just get really angry at me. But it's not his fault because I snapped at him. I'm supposed to be able to handle everything, you know. I just don't know how. The older I get, the harder it gets to be everybody's perfect thing, you know.
Okay, and how long have you and him been together, or when did you guys
Well,
meet?
we've been together 16 years. We met when I was 15, but we got married when I was 18. We have a couple little kids, and we have Susie and Jimmy, and he picks on Susie more than Jimmy, and that's another thing. I just really want my kids to be safe, and this is really scary how mad he can get sometimes.
Okay, and before I continue, I hear you talking about your kids. I'd like to let you know that I am a mandated reporter. I just want to bring it up to the table before anything.
That's not his fault. You shouldn't judge him. You don't know him. You don't know.
I'm just letting you know so that, you know, our relationship or our trust doesn't fall from here. I just want you to know that this is my role, and it's something that I have to do. It's okay.
I laugh when I get really nervous. And
It's okay.
when you started talking about that, I thought you were going to get him in trouble, so it made me a little nervous, and I have like this thing, I giggle when I'm nervous because I'm trying to make things off the subject or something. I don't know, I shouldn't do that. My boss says I do that too. When he sees the bruise, he says I laugh it off. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay, and I just want you to know that I'm not here to get anybody in trouble. I'm here to try and help you as much as I can.
I guess if I just could have more time and energy and have a super pill to be a better wife and take care of things better, but sometimes I'm just so tired, and he gets mad at me if I don't put on makeup and be pretty, and then if I do put on makeup and be pretty, he gets mad if somebody else talks to me or looks at me. It's been a real struggle. And you know, sometimes he goes out to the garage for hours at a time. I don't know what he does in there. I think he's drinking, or maybe even worse, because he comes back really angry, and that's most of the time when I get bruises and stuff, is if I talk back too much or I get snotty about needing some help, he'll get real angry with me, and it's real hard, you know.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about the most recent incident, the reason why you're here?
Well, like I said, he gets mad about the housework, and I get in a hurry, and sometimes I got in a hurry and left a little bit of macaroni and cheese on the back of a plate, and he found that macaroni and cheese piece of that, threw everything out of the cabinets, broke all the dishes, did it all, boiled some water, put my hands in the water, told me to clean dishes, and it was just horrible. And my boss saw the burns and was concerned that I burnt them at work, and then we got in a little discussion, and then a couple of days later he saw how the bruises were getting darker, and he asked me about what was going on, and that's how I ended up here, is because he wasn't trying to be nosy or anything, he just noticed more often than not. I've had a few bruises and a couple, you know, some burns on my hands from the hot water scalding my hand, and just, he broke all of our dishes and got all mad because of that little piece of macaroni and cheese, and I think it'd been a few days since he'd been out in the garage, so I don't know what's going on for sure, but it was a really terrible incident. Both my kids saw it this time, and it's just getting worse.
Okay. And have your children ever, besides this time, experienced any of these incidents? Have they been?
Well, like I said, it's been happening for a long time, but it gets where most of the time the kids are asleep and I get off work or something and I'm not home enough that they've seen some, and I just really worry about them in the future. But yeah, they've seen some of this stuff. Sometimes, some weeks it's an everyday thing, and sometimes it's only at night, but it's just, yeah, they've seen enough.
Okay.
Trying to talk myself into not saying that, but yeah, they've seen a lot.
Okay, and it's okay, like I said, this is a safe environment, whatever you're telling me is confidential. And I would like to know a little bit about, I know that they've seen the violence. Have they ever experienced violence themselves?
Well, like I said, he picks on the Susie girl. I'm a Susie girl a little bit. She's my oldest daughter, and she's 12, and picks on her and makes her do a lot of the, you know, the chores while I'm not there, and he absolutely adores that Jimmy. Jimmy's our only son, and he just idolizes him. So Susie's the one who gets most of the brunt of it, but actually beatings, not like me. Haven't seen him get beat, but he's awful verbally mean, and I've seen him get hit. Here I am protecting him again. Yeah, he hit Susie, and I've seen him hit Jimmy a couple times. I get a little nervous that you're going to take my kids from me if I don't say the right thing, so I'm trying not to do that. Sorry.
It's okay. You know, I really want to help
It's hard to do.
as much as I can, and how do you feel when he yells at them or verbally abuses them? How does that make you feel?
That's when I just can't take it, and I stand in and protect him, and then I get beat worse. But I just hate that. I hate that he hits my babies, and I hate that he yells, and I hate that he's so verbally mean to them. It's just so damaging to my kids and makes me feel like a terrible mom. But I have nowhere else to go. I feel like I have no one else will love me. I don't know what to do. I feel like that's their father, and I love him, and I don't want anything to happen. I just get so confused with so many emotions at the same time. I get so lost.
Okay. And do you feel he does it more often when you're around the house, or do you have feelings about him doing it when you're not there?
I get awful sick at work worrying about my kids. I call my little Susie once an hour or so to see how Dad's doing, where Dad's at. He's most of the time in the garage, and she takes care of Jimmy, and so it's a worry, and it's a scare, and you know, sometimes they get in trouble when I'm not there, but I always have her run down to the neighbors if I'm not there and stay there until I get home when he's been out in the garage, you know, so I try my best to protect him.
Okay, so I hear that you established a safety plan for them when you're not
Yeah,
there.
for my kids I do.
Okay, and how is that working for you? Have you thought about your safety?
Well, sitting here listening to myself and knowing what, you know, knowing I'm not, you just, when you hear yourself say what's going on, it just feels so bad. And so, like, you know, I should be out of that house. know why I stay there, and I think that I could use some help getting out, but I think this is the first step, so I'm so glad I came in here today.
And thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
Thank you. I know you say you have to get back to work, so
Yeah, thank you so much.
thank you and hope to see you soon again.
So now we gotta sit down, no, leave it on. We gotta sit down and discuss it.
Oh, on video?
Mm-hmm. It says, while STEM was still on, brief the roles partners be sure to discuss. So, be,
You said, did that help the other person feel comfortable and open? Okay, so me, what I helped.
yeah, the things that you said to me, well, you asked me about my kids was really good. And you asked me, you kept me talking about just very little things you said made me feel comfortable. And then when I started to protect and lie, when you got a little formal, you calmed that down with, I'm not here to, but I just don't want to hurt the trust. That was super good, because at first I got defensive, because, you know, if in that situation, if you're trying to protect your husband or something, you would get defensive. But then when you pulled it back, I was able to keep talking about it and then trust you more. And then I started to not tell the truth and then tell the truth. And when you're in that kind of a nervous state, you kept me calm enough that I told the truth without reacting, well, I better call somebody, or, you know, and didn't try to fix everything, you just listened. So that was really good. So.
And the things that could have been improved.
You brought stuff out of me, so you definitely had a calmness about you, and your demeanor was good, so I feel like you did a really good job. So that's, I don't know, I'm sure some things could have been improved, like maybe more on safety, I don't know, but you pulled everything out.
And any suggestions or feedback that the other person has?
That's you.
I don't know, I think obviously I always automatically want to go to the
CPS.
fixing it and
Yeah, it's hard.
and of course in a real situation I feel like CPS would have obviously been in my mind because you've disclosed that he's been physically violent with the kids, but it was more about, you know, making you aware that my role isn't to hurt anybody or get anybody in trouble, but that I am here and I am mandated to report.
And so later, if that would have happened, then that person that, you know, the client couldn't say, you, and
You
then
lied
the
to
trust
me.
would, because that's the important part right there, is when you don't say something. I think that was super good, because if you didn't say something and then you walked out from the next room and called CPS, and then I would never talk to someone again. So you saying it out loud was great. I think it was a great job. So,
Switch
so no, 10-minute play.